What's going to be talked about today, I think, is going to wow you. And the reason I say that is I have a guest that we're going to do a conversation, interview, coaching session and see where the words that we come up with take us. And the reason I say you're going to be wowed, well, you just got to stay tuned and see what's coming up. So I want to invite you to welcome my guest.
Wow.
There's Kellen Ann. See, I told her she's going to wow you.
I'm going to try.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions to get this rocking and rolling.
Okay.
And the first question is 3 things you're grateful for. So I'll start it to give you an example. You being on the show, my technology is working today, and the wonderful weather we're experiencing in southern Alberta where I live. So go ahead. Your 3 things.
I'm grateful. I'm wearing pants, and no, I'm just kidding.
You're not wearing pants.
I couldn't resist. I am grateful for my healthy family, my mom, my daughter, myself. I am grateful for all the new opportunities that have been afforded me over the last 3 months. I am grateful for your friendship. How about that?
I love it. Thank you. So the next question is, the acronym is WIFL. WIFLs, what I feel like sharing. So that's something that, this is an opportunity to brag about something without being judged. And
let's see.
I'll start it off. I'm just trying to think which one I wanted to share. So to give you an example what a WIFL is, it's the other day I had one of the people that I coach and mentor send me unsolicited note about how impactful our conversations have been, and the gentle, empathetic kick in the arse is what she said, was very fruitful and timely. So that's making awesome. An impact in people's life. That's what I wanted to share today.
That's so a huge impact. That's really cool. I'm going to say something that I don't think you would expect me to say. Because I've been doing a lot of thinking about my passions and, writing a book. And I'm finally getting the courage to write the story that I think, but that I have buried deep inside of me for over 50 years. And I'm not afraid anymore. I'm actually kind of excited to get it out so that maybe I can help other women. How about that? Is that a brag or is that just a goal?
That's a bit of a brag because you broke through some things that you, up until recent, you were afraid to get it out there. So absolutely, that's a WIFL. What I feel like sharing, something that's a brag.
And it's brand new.
What's that?
It's brand new.
That's awesome. Well, and it's important to you. That's all that really matters. So WIFLs are anything where you've had an impact on somebody's life. You've had a shift in your own life. You've broken through something, or you're moving towards an end result that you had thought about doing or afraid to do. And that's a really good example of that. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh,
and then the last of the 3 questions is, what are you looking forward to?
Today in life? Which one?
It's your choice.
Oh, okay. I'm looking forward to my new journey. It started in March where, I met our amazing Megamind group and they pushed my boundaries. And, I certainly wouldn't be what I'm doing today if it weren't for, those wonderful people. And in that, started a new business that I'm truly passionate about. And it's growing every day at a very, very happy pace for me. So I'm looking forward to creating different designs and, making note cards and paper art items with branding that will help people make their clients to help them stand out to their clients. So, helping them. I love helping people, even if it's with a card.
And I was desperately looking to see if I had them near me, but I've moved them.
I got tons of them.
I was going to show them on the screen here for people.
I'm going to give you a sneak peek of Kendrick Holmes' Christmas card. How about that?
Cool. Very nice. And of course, they're not one-dimensional; they're three-dimensional. And
Yeah.
I know because I have some here in my office, just not anywhere near me because they're elsewhere.
I've probably done 100 designs already. It's this is one of my favorite. This was Steve Rizzo for him. I don't know if you can you see that back? The sun is shining. I'm like the light.
Yeah.
So I put all the words that he uses in his motivational speeches, and he liked that one a lot too. So that's 2 of like 100.
Yeah, and they actually are beautiful cards.
Thank you.
Inspired by whatever you see in people, and with your creativeness, you make some cards that wow people. Mm-hmm. I've seen many openings of people's cards that they've received, and they actually do go wow.
I know, that's the cool part.
So how did you get started in that? I mean, you said it was to do with the last 3 months hanging out with this group of mega minders. In addition to that, was there anything else?
Well, I've made things like this my whole life. I was like the go-to for party invitations, announcements, birth announcements, and I just did them for my family and friends just for fun. And I was speaking with Ron Goodwin one day, who I met through, our New Normal course with Jeffrey Gitomer. And he said, and I actually sent him a card, and he says, "Why don't you sell these?" And I said, "Oh, no, nobody will buy these. They're too expensive." And he redirected me to a new target market. And, he was right. I was thinking about the wrong audience to sell them to. And that shift pretty much, sent me off on this new journey, that mind shift.
So that's a really good point for anybody who's watching this now or on the replay. One of the things I do in the space I'm in, I'm not in the make cards that wow, I buy cards that wow, but is identifying who your target audience is and knowing what it is that they are looking for and what it is that you can bring to their lives that serves them. And when we do that, price becomes less of an issue, because what they're looking at is what's the transformation that you provide, whether it be in a card, a different kind of diet, breakthrough in business, doesn't really matter. When we are able to deliver that to the target audience that we could serve, we end up getting paid what we're worth, not having to work as hard as what we would have, and if we don't go after who we are best suited to serve. So, I mean, there's all sorts of places you can get cards, but how many places can you get cards that wow you? I mean, really.
And what I try to do is capture the essence of their logo, because I've been doing mainly corporate branding type projects. And I mean, I won't copy their logo and just stick it on a card. I find the parts that are I believe that person is trying to, the essence of that person through their card. And luckily I've been spot on pretty much 100% right now. Things can change tomorrow, but I'll just, and if I don't get it right, I'll do it right until I get it. But that's another important thing, is having the mindset, having your mind not set in one direction. Because I'm very, even though I have the ADHD stuff, I have a target, and sometimes I have these blinders on, and I'm like, target. But if I would have kept my blinders on, I wouldn't have changed my whole marketing model, and I'd be contacting the wrong people and spinning my wheels right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that get stuck in there. It's something that was blind spots or happen not only on the visual, but on our other senses, our what we see, what we hear, are also have blind spots. And the blind spot can serve us really well, but they can also keep us stuck in our isness. And if that's not a happy place, then doing what you did, you opened up your blinders, and as a result of that, created cards that wow. You have an example of something you were working on the other day. It's on a canvas, just like what an artist would paint on, but it's a mini canvas. Do you
Oh,
have
you
that
mean my
handy?
business card?
Yeah, yeah. You have that handy?
Yeah, I do.
This wasn't
Under my
pre-planned.
light. Hold on. Everything's under something. So this is my business card. So it's a canvas, a mini painting canvas. How can I get, oh, there we go. How's that? That's better.
That's great. Right there's good. Yeah. So it's
And
three-dimensional canvas,
then
and
the
on the
back
back,
of it, I just put my contact information. But
right.
it's like an art because I'm an artist. You know, even if it's just paper arts. But I'm also starting a new painting line, and it's geared more towards pets. So I'm gonna acrylic paint the pet on the canvas, and then I'm gonna paper art. I'm gonna make it 3-dimensional and then frame it like I do with my corporate branding frames. So that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna start that next weekend.
Very cool. So one thing is I like about the business card particularly, I like the cards as well. The business card, I can, if you were to send that out to your target audience, oh, we have an echo. Anyway, technology is wonderful when it works. But sending out lumpy mail, like that Canvas business card to somebody, would do, there's a formula that I follow, which is interrupt, engage, educate, and offer. So the interrupt is the fact that your card is not just the typical one-dimension flat with all of your information on there. It's a piece of art. It's 3-dimensional. It's about, what, a quarter of an inch thick. And
it's about a quarter of an inch.
Yeah. And so if that was to show up into somebody's mailbox that was your target audience, they would probably take action and want to know more about you. And even if they didn't take the initiative, you could pick up the phone and follow up and say, I was just wondering, did my card make it to you? And I'm the lady that creates cards that wow. Our company is the cards that wow. Did you see my card? And
do you know, I think Jeffrey Gitomer and Ron Goodwin have those coin cards.
Yes.
They said people will never throw those away, and they won't. I have one of Ronnie's. I love it, and it's like right on my desk back behind the screen. That kind of prompted me to think, because I was I thought, oh God, I need business cards because eventually I'll need a business card, and I have some time, so I'm working on it. And I thought, what would people not throw away? And I thought, an art canvas. And I was shopping the other day, and I saw these teeny tiny art canvases. I bought every one that they have, and they're really not that much. They're not any more than making a card, like a card that wow. So I just want to. So maybe they would keep this. I don't know. I'm hoping that will work. It seemed to work for Gitomer and Goodwin, so I'm going to try.
Well, it's standing out above the crowd. Pardon the pun. But that's really what needs to happen with the marketing messages that are bombarding all of us. If we're not standing out on top of the crowd, then we'll get buried in the heap of, it's just like fall right now and the leaves are falling off the tree. We'll just be another leaf and we won't stand out. I did a presentation around that very topic, the 4 steps of the marketing formula, and how do you interrupt and stand out and be unique to a group of Georgia business owners. And we need to differentiate ourselves. It doesn't mean that because we do that we're going to stand out and everybody's going to listen and lean into us. But going back to what you said that Ron shared with you was that you need to stand out and change the market, go after your target audience, the people that would appreciate the value in that, and price becomes less of an issue, right?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
If you're going after the ones that go to the local dollar store to buy their cards, that's not your target audience.
Right. Well, and this won't work for an accountant. Okay. I mean, this is more of a creative, my business is creative. But there's still ways to make your business card, not even just your note card, your business card, anything paper. Wow. It's a matter of, taking the time to, curate your idea, the message you want to give in your audience. Once you have that, the rest just kind of comes to you. So I don't just do 3-dimensional things. I can help people with, any kind of branding, really. I just do it with paper.
I'm going to challenge you on that comment you made about the accounting firms.
Okay.
Why wouldn't it work for an accounting firm?
Because I would come up with something completely different for an accounting firm, something that's more to their, the people that are accountants. Well, you know what? You're making me change a little bit here. I see what you're doing. Because people that use accountants aren't necessarily, linear and analytical, right? Is that what you're saying? So this, I don't know. But they also like clean desks, and I'm not sure they'd put something like this on their desk.
They like clean desks?
Yeah, they're very organized, and every accountant I've dealt with, I look at them and go, wow, you can see your desk.
Yeah, interesting.
I'm just trying to make a point that I wouldn't necessarily make something like this for just anybody. I would look at their business. I would see who they want to attract, what they stand for, their model, and make something that would wow for them.
Yeah, I totally get that. And that's an important piece of the puzzle, to provide something that's relevant to the audience. And the only reason I challenged you on the accountants was I know some accountants that would be into a 3-dimensional style card that would stand out.
I could do that. I'm talking about on a canvas. I wouldn't make a canvas card.
No, it could work on a canvas for some accounting firms. Depends on who they are, and it depends on the message that you're going to put on there too.
True.
Right.
And the name of the business too, because I do a lot with the play with the name of the business.
Yeah, absolutely. But what I like about what you're saying is, you're not saying that one solution fits all. You seek to understand, and you have a perception of what they are and what they're trying to do and who their audience is. And the piece that you would create for them, whether it be on the canvas or some other modality or a substrate, is what you would do.
Like a hardwood floor company. I would make it out of a little teeny piece of hardwood.
Mm-hmm.
You just gave me an idea for someone to target. Hold on.
Hey, no worries.
Okay.
Say good morning to Robert Brooker. He's here watching us this morning.
How come I don't see? Oh, I'm not in the comments. That's why. Hey, Robert. How's it going? I see him all over the place. He and I hang in the same circles, I think.
I think you do. I think I'm in some of them as well sometimes.
Yeah, you are. Does Robert have any questions?
Not at the moment. He's just saying good morning to us. That's basically all he's doing. So what's been one of the biggest challenges that you've overcome or yet to overcome?
Myself.
Mm-hmm. With your newfound business? Yeah,
myself.
Yourself is a big challenge. Okay, sorry. I'm glad I clarified that. Did you want to tell us more about that?
It's just I had a slight self-confidence problem for a while, and that's a lot to do with the book that I'm writing. And then
I'll get that. You carry on talking.
I forgot what I was saying.
I know they can do that. My bad for pointing out that we had people watching.
Because I'm like, squirrel. No, my daughter is not helping me today, Robert, so I'm safe. Oh my God, that was funny though. But yeah, back to myself. I just kind of put up obstacles, and the ADHD makes it sometimes pretty difficult to stay on task and get things done. I just kind of go off. So I have started that Team 17 with Michael Heppel. Yeah. And he's got these 17-minute sprints. And I feel like if I can do 7 minutes, I'm ahead of the game. So that's been helping. And just staying on task, because my creative mind is always working. And I mean, I don't think I've gotten a full night's sleep in 10 years because I wake up and go, and I have to write something down or, take care of something. So, I got the challenges are probably my ADHD and, maintaining my self-confidence, because it's definitely better than it was. I'll tell you that. Yeah.
Well, with the little bit of time I've spent with you over the last several months, is I would have never known that you had a confidence challenge. So good on you. Good on you. So what is it you like most about what you do?
The creativity, and just helping people stand out. I mean, I want people to be noticed. I want to help people be noticed.
Yeah, and you certainly are doing that with the cards for sure. Absolutely.
Thank you.
And some of the words of wisdom that you share with people, I think also fit into that category.
Are you there? Wait, did I freeze?
I'm brain frozen because I'm reading.
Okay.
Because I think this message came way late. Oh, technology, gotta love it when it's working.
I know.
So where was I going with my thinking?
Why don't you take that thought, and I have to step away for a moment, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
What's Robert got to say here? Until I was forced off work, could only sleep a few hours with nightmares. Oh my gosh. Waking up yelling at whatever was chasing me. These nightmares flat out stopped once I was no longer on the property. Wasn't that interesting? Well, I'm glad to see that you're doing fine right now. So let me see. One of the things that I like about what Kellen's talking about is that she's tapped into her most precious resource, which to me is the space between our ears. It's what we have in our imagination. And the largest nation that we all have available to us is the imagination. It's not landmass or the population. It's not one particular country. It's in our imagination, because imagination gives you an indication of what your future could look like. And if you can master that, you could create something much the same as what Kellen's done. And she's created a business in COVID times, when things were at the beginning of this, you would think that might be the end of the world. Well, it was the end of the world is what we may have known it to be. And certainly there's been some challenges and some terrible things have happened. There's also been many, many good things. And one of them is this lovely lady that we have on our show today, and her cards that wow you. And that was born out of the challenges we've been facing in the last 6-7 months. And it's not over yet. There's going to be challenges. And I think whether it be COVID-19 or anything else, it's how we manage what's going on in our world. It's how we react to it. I just finished reading a book on the weekend. It was his first book by Steve Rizzo, and it's called Being a Humor Being. And much of the things that he writes about and talks about in the book are very similar to what I believe in. The added element was that he really accentuated finding the humor in all situations. I refer to it as turning lemons into lemonade, something I learned from the wisdom of Dale Carnegie. But what Steve has done is actually taken that and getting us to understand humor and how it can heal us and help us in anything that's going on. And he has references to other professional comedians that he met that are not happy doing what they're doing, and they're living the lifestyle of, somewhat opulent, but not happy because they're doing what they have to do versus what they love to do. So I know that you can catch more about what Steve's going to be doing later this week, same bat time, 9 a.m. Mountain Time, but on a different channel. He's not a guest on my show this week, but he will be on Kellen's show. And you're muted for some reason because I got to bring you in. No, you got to unmute yourself.
No, I'm sorry. I had a puppy emergency. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, not a problem. It's all good.
I'm like, oh my gosh, not now. But yes,
Yeah.
Steve's gonna be on my show on Thursday at 8 o'clock Pacific. That's my normal time. And he's got a great story. He shared it a little bit with us, on our Megamind call. And I found it very powerful. And he's been on my show before, but this message was so pertinent right now that I felt that we needed to do it again. So yeah, I'm just doing my show this Thursday, and then I'm going back to my Tuesdays next week. So
where can people that happen to be watching this now find you on Thursday? Because I don't have any.
Thursday, it's Cards That Wow, Facebook, and then YouTube, Cards That Wow. And I think that's it. It's on the Facebook pages, and then the Facebook page and the YouTube page. Or you can PM me. I'll send you a link. Whatever you guys need, I can help.
Well, that's what you specialize in, right? Is helping out people and dog emergencies.
Oh my God, that puppy! I'm too old for a puppy. I really am.
Was Max, eh?
It was Max. He wasn't walking. I'm like, what do you mean he's not walking? So I don't know what, he's fine now, but I don't know what happened.
Maybe he just wanted mommy's attention.
I wouldn't put it past him, honestly. Yeah. So did I finish that last question?
I believe so. I went on to
okay.
Something else.
I said, I'm sorry to disrupt your show. I'm like, you're like, oh, Kellen, where'd you go?
I've actually had improv training. One of the things that makes improv training work is saying yes. So if you're in a skit with an improv, you need to have an open mind and be willing to be vulnerable and say yes to whatever the idea is. Because if you don't, the comedy's over. It's dead. It's right. Done. So I jumped into that for the ability to be that flexible and adaptable in front of an audience, because one of the things I do is facilitate to some significantly large groups. I'm not in front of 1,000 people, but I'm not being a keynote speaker. I'm facilitating. Mm-hmm. So in that facilitation, there's all sorts of things that pop up. There's resistance to the ideas. There's people hogging the limelight because of egos. There's people that are too quiet. They were afraid to say anything. So it's about bringing them all out. So what helped me to do that was to take improv, because it allows you to be it's okay being challenged with different things and not worried about feeling embarrassed about it. It's really, I guess, what I'm trying to say. And,
okay, I have a question for you.
Yes, to expect success.
Okay, you've known me for a couple months. And after this show, what is a piece of coaching advice that you would give to me? I'm going to get free advice, folks.
Yeah, one of the things I do as a coach is I don't do a lot of free advice or paid advice. I actually, as a coach, for the most part, would get you to figure out what's the most important next step for you to get to where you want to get. And I know you're doing some of that already because of the Team 17 that you're part of. There's two aspects of that. There's Team 17, and there's also the Write a Book group that you're part of. So you're doing a lot of things that are moving you towards the goals that I understand that are important to you. So as your coach, I would just help you make sure that you're on track and doing the things you said you wanted to do to get shit done. So I think you're doing those. Am I right or wrong?
I feel like I'm doing it. I'm overwhelmed and scared still, but I think that's normal. And if I weren't scared, that would mean I'm not pushing my boundaries. And if I weren't overwhelmed, it would mean I wasn't doing enough.
Yeah, one of the best ways I've heard that defined is when you set your goals, if they don't scare and excite you about the same amount, the goal's not big enough.
Right.
You already know how to do it, right? So in order to get that, we should always be living in a state of dissatisfaction. That doesn't mean being unhappy, but being dissatisfied. So that means we're moving towards some other ideal. And it's not that we're disgruntled and living a dissatisfied life, or unhappy. We're not unhappy, but we are not satisfied with where we are. So if you could make 10 cards, what if you could make 20 cards? And it's not about necessarily the money around that, but it's the impact of how you can serve more people with your product. For me, it's how can I influence more people to live the life that they want to live, so that they when they get to the end of their journey, there's no regrets. So
Mhm.
if I can do that for 1,000, and then if I've done it for 1,000, what about 2,000? And then what about 5,000? How could I do that? And it's not necessarily that I'm the one who's doing the day-to-day stuff. Maybe I can build a team that would help do that to a larger amount of people. So I'm actually going down that path in my journey as we speak. It's part of what I do.
I know, I'm excited for you about that.
It's really cool. So being excited and nervous about the same amount is really key to making sure you get shit done. I remember watching, I was in Seattle 2011, September, and Lou was standing on the stage. He was all of 5 foot, I don't know, 6 or 7. I was taller than him, and I'm not very tall. And he was leaning up against the table, and he said, without dissatisfaction, there's no change. And he was telling us a lot of stories at this weekend retreat. And he said, don't worry about the principles. Just remember the stories. The principles are in the stories. So when you're helping your people, your tribe, your family, your community, just share the stories. They'll get the lessons and the principles that are tied within that. That's what I find. So I hope that answers your coaching related question.
Very well, it does.
So if I was to ask you one last question to keep this, hey, Ron Goodwin's here. Good morning.
Ronnie, I talked about your coin today.
We just talked about your coin today and how she's never going to throw it away. You're at the tail end, Ron. We didn't let you know soon enough, I don't think, or you're probably busy serving and helping other people because that's what you do. You help other people. I watched him make a really delicious stew, and I almost drove all the way to where he was to get it. But I made a couple of wrong turns along the way, and I realized I was going to be late for supper, so I decided not to go. And then he said, wow, he even took all the mushrooms out of it for me.
Yeah, you'll get to see that I had to leave mid-show, Ron.
Yeah, she was throwing a curve at me, but it was all good. So my last question for today. Okay. If we were in a coaching session, one of the things I would ask you to do, there's Larry Schneider. They're all coming in now. We're wrapping up. What was the takeaway from being on the show today?
Other than locking the puppy up, let me think a minute, because I don't like to just shout out something here. It was fun being authentic with you. Sometimes when you're on these shows, you tend to have this persona of, what you want people to see you to be. But being able to talk about, some new fears that I'm overcoming, and just being able to let it out in a space that that I know that you want to help me as much as you can, and people watching are wanting to help me, whether it be supporting my card business or supporting the book. I mean, it's just, I always enjoy talking with you. And I think I get free coaching every day from you because I talk to you almost every day. And yes. I'm not trying to get free coaching. I just enjoy, the conversation and getting to know each other better. So I think my takeaway is, it is important to have somebody who can guide you without leading you. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
As a coach, because you don't say, Phil, this is Phil speaking, Kellen, I think you need to go this way, and this way. You say, Kellen, where do you want to go? And I say, I want to go from here to here. And you say, okay, how can I help you get there? Right? That's what I learned about a coach today.
Yeah, one of my favorite, I have a couple of favorite mantras, but one of them is, how can I creatively and innovatively get to wherever it is I want to get to, lose the weight, write a book, whatever the aspect is that you want to do or I want to do, that served me well. And it's really based on the premise if we know what we want, what we really, really, really want, and why we really, really, really want what we want, and stifle the how, it's amazing what will show up. The people we'll run into, the books will come across our eyeballs, the podcasts, the intuitive thoughts. And if we act on those things and pay attention to them, it may not be the end result that we're looking for immediately, but it'll often be what's shown up for me is it'll give me clarity that my message or my vision isn't clear enough. Because what showed up was exactly what I thought of, but it wasn't what I was really thinking of. It's what I asked for, but it wasn't really what I was looking for. And case in point to that is I was looking for free computers back in the 90s to sell some software. I wanted to try out this methodology, whether to see if it actually did work or not. And so I would go out talking to people and learning about who they are. And they'd ask me what I was doing and what I was looking for. And I said, well, actually, I have this challenge. I'm looking for a computer. It needs to have a really good screen, a word processor, and a spreadsheet. And, oh, yeah, I have no money. It's got to be free. And some people would laugh at me, and others would say, oh, okay, well, you can have mine when I don't need it. This is great. When you don't need it? Well, I need it Monday to Friday, 7 till 7. I said, that's kind of when I need it. So I needed to be more specific. So I changed it. So I need it 24/7. I need all that other stuff, good screen, spreadsheet, that kind of thing. And, oh, yeah, I have no money. And I go on and share my story and my ask just to see if this really worked. And then I'd run into other people and I'd act upon what they're doing. And somebody gave me another one. I thought, oh, crap, this really does work. Wow. But it didn't work out. I got a computer and it was free and I could have it 7/24 and had a spreadsheet and had a word processor, but it was DOS. I forgot to mention it needed to be Windows. And the reason I needed Windows was because I had an application I was selling for another company. Oh, and so I continued on the journey. A long story longer. I met somebody when I was running a networking event. He wanted me to collaborate with him with his event. So I did that. It was a weekend event. We had Brian Tracy, Mark Victor Hansen on the Saturday teaching and talking to us. On the Friday night before that, we facilitated a networking group. I met my next best friend and mentor and roommate there. We went for coffee and a lunch. I told him about the story. I was looking for a computer. Lo and behold, a couple of weeks later, I get a phone call. He says, hey, that computer you're looking for, I think I found it. And I got it free for 7 months. So it does work. It may not get there as fast as if you had cash to put it and go buy it, but how can you creatively and innovatively go after what you really want? A computer was a tangible, measurable, simple thing to do, but I've done other things. I've started a business with no money. So just an idea and that same philosophy. So it's amazing what we can do if we do. I got to go back to one of these banners here, Kellen, because the other day I talked about this particular resource. Tap into your most precious resource. And that's our mind, our thinking power. And when we do that, guess what happens? You come up with a business, break out of your comfort zone, and you come out with cards that wow you. Mm-hmm. And as a result of that, your pebble in the pond, the cards that you've thrown out there to different people, you've become connected to some really interesting people. You've had some wonderful guests on your show. Your shows are becoming better and better and better with every episode you do, whether it be your show, the Coffee Talk Show, or if it's your buddy and you show. What's the name of that one?
Candidly Speaking with Shell and Kel. And that show is like the Seinfeld of live stream, I think, because we don't have a script. I set up guests in advance. I think we're booked through mid-January right now. And we just talk. And it's really fun because you find out something about the guests that you would never oh my gosh, I didn't know that. Last week we had Bryn Tillman and she was amazing. It was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that about you, Bryn. Oh, it was like a the whole time. And it actually went, I think, 40 minutes instead of our half hour. So I'm not sure if we edited any of it or I think it all got out because it was pretty fun.
And you girls are targeting women in business, generally speaking, but a lot of your audience
last week our audience was completely male.
There you go.
So I don't know. I don't know.
But it is entertaining and educational at the same time.
Yeah, it is. We try to teach something. Like when we had Alan, one of our mutual friends, we had him on about, safety. Because I thought, with everything that's going on and even before everything, safety is important. And Alan he is our go-to. And, Yeah, he was fun too. And I think that one we had 2 women. I'm like, so I don't know what we're doing. I mean, I don't know what we're doing that's only bringing men to our show, but I'm going to work on that this week.
Very cool. Well,
So let me talk about you, Phil. Okay? Just a little. I want you to describe your ideal client. Who can you help?
Yeah.
Because I don't think people, because you don't sell yourself. You talk to us and help us promote our businesses. And I just want to turn the tables a little bit and find out who your ideal person would be, your ideal client.
Yeah, they love people and use money, not the other way around as a criteria. They're okay with being uncomfortable in the learning, and they're open to constant and never-ending learning. And they're authentic, progressive, and effective individuals. So if I was coaching you as a business owner, I would say, we should have a niche. Well, that kind of is my niche. I also help salespeople become professional salespeople, to get away from the sleazy mindset that some people have about the sales profession. I believe the sales profession is one of the most noblest ones out there, because without people selling things and making things happen, nothing really happens. But often people in the sales space, the non-professional ones, tend to tell stuff instead of ask stuff. And my greatest satisfaction is when somebody gets an idea from something that I've brought to the table and they've implemented it, and they've totally changed their game, so that they're getting rewarded, recognized, and building the business for the companies they're working for. That's what makes my heart sing. So my show, the Business Renovator,
say that louder. That's what
makes my heart sing.
Yeah,
so
that's important.
My show is about sales, marketing, and mindset. I believe those 3 things are the 3 legs of my stool that I support people with. So whether you're a chiropractor, a printer, heavy equipment contractor, implementation dealership, I've worked with all those kind of people. I have a diverse background. I'm kind of like horse. I'm a horse. I'm along in the tooth. You know what that expression came from? You horse people will know. But until I had a horse veterinarian that I worked with, I didn't understand. Horses' teeth are always growing. Yeah. So they actually have to get ground, right? And see, you know about horses, but I didn't know. But that guy's, well, for example, being able to help the veterinarian take his business.
Wait, you're tangenting. You're going off on a tangent. Get back to the tooth.
Well, the tooth was about him. Right? It's about what I learned there, but how he turned his business from a simple idea that he thought might happen in 5 years to something that was, I would say, 10 times what he thought it was going to do in 2 years. That's the kind of things that I've been able to experience with the people that I work with. So if they're motivated, they're okay with being uncomfortable, being uncomfortable, or being comfortable being uncomfortable, love people and use money and not the other way around. I work with people like that, and they do the work and get shit done, and they're amazed at how much they get done as a result of the work we've done together. It's fascinating.
Perfect.
So did that answer your question?
I've taken over your show, haven't I?
You did.
Sorry.
Wait a minute. Maybe we should change seats. There, look at that. We changed seats.
Phil, I want to thank you for being my guest today. Do you have any final words for the audience?
Yes. Be okay being uncomfortable on your own show.
I'm having so much fun. Thank you, Phil.
and do this.
Expect success. Yes.
Right.
And I'm going to shamelessly promote. I'm just starting to build my email list of clients, and I'm going to start having tutorials and just information and specials, and letting people know about seasons and how I'm working with them. So if they could go to cardsthatwow.com and sign up and be a part of my mailing list, I would appreciate that. because I'm not going to go crazy. I'm not going to send something out every day, or it'll be just as things are happening. Because I'm frankly, I'm not organized enough to send something out every day. So I'm just going to send out new designs, promotions, and then I'm going to be having a VIP club that I'm going to probably launch that in December. I'll be ready for it then. So thank you for letting me shamelessly promote.
No problem. So just to make sure that people get that, could you tell us where they can go to make sure that they get your offers?
Oh, it's www.cardsthatwow.com.
Cool.
And there's a contact me form on there. So if you just sign up there, that'll put you on my mailing list.
Awesome. I just want to make sure they got that clearly.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, thanks for being here and taking over my show. Now I know what it is to be a hostage.
Anytime, except that I can't kick myself out. Only you can kick me out.
That's true. So on that note, I'm going to end it because we've got we've gone 45 minutes.
Oopsie.
We broke the record. Anyway,
Awesome.
it was a treat. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
See you later.